Hello there, I'm Aldrahill, and welcome to some Stellaris Utopia tips and tricks. In this video, I'm going to talk about Traditions, a new feature added by Utopia that essentially just nicks the policies from Civilization 5. That's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all, but it definitely has changed the metagame considerably, and it's going to require a little bit of knowledge to understand which is the most optimal paths to take. As you can see, this is my game that I'm playing on YouTube right now, my Peace and Love Empire, ruled by the hippies. I'm enjoying this game immensely, because I'm basically going to be playing tall and incorporating all aliens. But I had a little difficulty deciding how to spend my new resource, Unity. You have all of these lovely tradition policies, including expansion, domination, prosperity, harmony, supremacy, diplomacy, and discovery. And on completion of each, you get an ascension perk. Each tradition has an opener effect and a finisher effect, and as well as a variety of individual policies, 5 in each one. Which is stronger? That's the question. So I want to talk about what is the best route to do with regards to multiplayer, because in multiplayer you need to maintain a considerable advantage over your opponents. The initial purchase that you get at the very start of the game is possibly going to be the most important you'll ever make, because you can obviously choose one, and only one, to begin with. Once you've picked it, you will get the adoption effect, and alongside that, it is very intelligent to finish the entire tradition policy so as to unlock the very valuable ascension perks. This means you don't want to do what I did in my series and unlock prosperity, take one idea, and then realize, actually, I should have gone expansion. So I'm going to very briefly go over what each one is focused around. Expansion is very much about gaining additional colonies and maintaining them. It grants you an additional population on every new colony as the adoption effect, and the finisher effect essentially gives you a higher core sector limit. Each of the policies is mainly focused around additional unity from each colony and basically more frontier outposts. Domination is essentially a tradition entirely about vassalizing people. It gives you a reduction of war demand cost to subjugate other empires and allows you to integrate them a lot faster and gain more naval capacity from those vassals. Alongside that, you also get empire leader capacity and extra governor skills to increase happiness over sectors. Prosperity is about supposedly building tall, reducing the cost of mineral stations, mining stations, and making terraforming cost a lot less, as well as ship and building cost reduction and private colony ships, as well as the ability to get a little bit more unity through energy nexus. Energy nexus? Who knows? Harmony is about happiness and suppressing rebellion. Essentially, a flat happiness bonus is massively useful, as well as a reduction of consumer goods, as well as leader lifespan, unrest reduction in general, and a few other quite useful defensive perks. Supremacy is about increased border range and essentially dominating your enemy, using naval capacity, ship build speed, and seed planet war demand cost. This is very useful for when you want to be fighting other people. Diplomacy is all about building federations and gaining extra influence and also extra trust. I would not rate this very highly. And finally, discovery is supposedly all about science, but really it's more about saving minerals on science and getting more anomalies. It's an interesting one, which I'll talk about in a little bit. Playing against AI and playing against other players are very, very different things. So I'm going to talk about two very different routes. At the very start of the game, I would say that regardless of who you're playing against, expansion is what you need. Expansion seems to be the strongest opening tradition, granting you additional population on your colonies, which means you can get those resources faster, extra core sector systems, and going through it, it also just gives you more unity. Everyone will always try to get as many core sector systems as possible, and this basically gives you extra unity per colony, as well as meaning each tradition costs less as your number of colonies increases. Alongside that, faster growth on colonies and more frontier outposts, allowing you to grab more territory from the AI or players. Really, really valuable. I would rate this incredibly highly. Your second pick is actually going to depend on what your goals are. If you are against other players, supremacy is absolutely what you need to go for next. Border range to grab those really valuable systems, and the finisher effect of increased fire rate, which is hugely valuable in fighting. Alongside that, naval capacity and build speed bonuses, the ability to take planets a lot easier, more army damage, which is kind of crap to be honest, extra unity output per rivals, and finally, the most important, I would say, admiral skills. This is something you need to be rushing. Admiral skills is so incredibly valuable because it increases fire rate on your fleets just as a flat rate. Incredibly useful, and something I think is going to be a rush. The only reason I would say not to take supremacy and thus war games first is because early spaceports rather mitigate early warfare due to their high strength. So it's still going to take a little while before you actually have the naval capacity to take down spaceports. If you're against the AI, then domination may actually be more what you're looking for, because you may want more to vassalize enemies, and this allows you to do so much easier. Subject integration cooldown, influence cost, and also extra naval capacity per vassal is a beautiful, beautiful tradition policy. Policy again, I keep calling it that. A beautiful tradition tree to go down if you want to vassalize and integrate your neighbors. Prosperity can be very useful if you are planning on playing quite tall and terraforming individual planets. As well as that, the reduction of ship upkeep and building upkeep cost is really, really nice. The private colony ship is less so, but it allows you to spend energy rather than minerals to actually colonize, which can be very useful. Harmony is definitely an important tradition to take because of the flat reduction of happiness. If you are playing a game that is all about endless conquest, harmony is going to be something you need, definitely. The extra flat happiness, the leader lifespan bonus, which is huge, the reduction of governing ethnics attraction malice caused by distance to capital, and just a flat additional unrest bonus is so good. I think this is going to be taken regardless of your intent. Diplomacy is sad. Discovery is actually quite useful because it means you can get research stations a lot easier because they only cost 60 minerals. But the problem is that the cost of research stations does not go up as the game develops. It always remains a very flat cost of 90 minerals along with mining outposts. What that means is this is not actually a percentage reduction, it is actually just a flat reduction of 30 minerals. This is really useful because of the anomaly discovery chance, meaning you're going to get more anomalies over your enemies, and anomalies mean more resources. Alongside that, research points equal to a third of monthly gain when surveying planets means that as you continue to survey planets throughout the galaxy, you are going to gain more research points than your opponents and thus get tech faster. Science recruitment cost is essentially just a flat influence saving bonus. It's not really very useful. However, leader skill levels is always useful throughout the game because it is a massive bonus because you're constantly recruiting new leaders. And then finally, assist research increasing happiness simply means that your researchers that you use to assist research now actually become mobile happiness dispensers, flying between individual planets to calm them down from rebellion. What would be the ideal route to take? If you are playing against players, I would say expansion first, supremacy second, then discovery. You could swap those two around, and then probably harmony. Playing against the AI, it is then dependent on your ideal playing strategy, but I would still say to start expansion, I would then consider domination or discovery, because the A research bonus from discovery does give a lot of benefits. Prosperity, I think, is only useful if you are intending to play entirely tall, though the Energy Grid and Energy Nexus Unity bonus is excellent, because it basically means that, because you're going to build an Energy Grid on every planet, it replaces the Power Hub, by the way. You're going to have just flat 2 Unity per colony, which is very useful. Harmony is a definite necessity. The flat happiness, the reduction of unrest, assuming you're conquering, harmony is definitely in your sights. The only two policies I say that are optional in terms of usability are prosperity and diplomacy. I predicted every player should take expansion, and every player should take supremacy, due to the fact that you're always going to be fighting. Discovery, I think, is also a must policy because of that huge bonus of research points. The order in which you do them is up to you, but honestly, take expansion first. You're going to need it. If you found that this guide was helpful, please do leave a like and a comment telling me what you think and what kind of guides you'd like to see in future videos. I'm having a lot of fun with Stellaris Utopia, but the main thing I'm really enjoying is trying to predict how the multiplayer meta will shift. Though people may not play a lot of Stellaris multiplayer, honestly it's really fun. Give it a go. Be sure to check out the variety of other Let's Plays that I have on my channel. I was Aldrahill and I will continue to be, and this has been a Traditions Guide for Stellaris Utopia. Bye bye.